Episode of the Everblack Podcast is brought to you by Deathwish, Hotrods and Kustoms. Check out their Instagram for all their new t-shirts, caps, beanies, cups, and the all-new Atomic Death lineup. My name's Nev. It's good to talk to you, man. Man, but another thing is, I don't know if it gets mentioned, but you have one of the best beards in metal.
You say that, but have you seen Bjorn in In Flames?
Yes.
Dude, beards me. And yeah. I have an all right beard, and actually my beard's a little hacked up. Sometimes on tour, I need to get cleaned up. Right now, I need to get cleaned up. I'm always sloppy. And we were in Hamburg with a few days off, and I went to just walk-in barber, and the dude started like bringing it on, like whoa, whoa, whoa. So he hacked the sides. So right now, I'm pushing to grow these back out to get it all trimmed into a nice shape.
It's still powerful. Still powerful. You know.
Well, thank you.
Makes mine like really sad. So, you know. But anyway.
Effort. This is really just sitting around waiting for shit to happen.
Maybe I need to do that. Maybe I need to start doing that. The new Lamb of God album, Omens, is out this week, and I've heard it. It's just phenomenal, dude. It's such a great record. And the thing about you guys is that, you know, throughout your career, you've been consistent with your releases. And even though you've thrown a few different ingredients into the mix, you know, you haven't strayed too far from, you know, the core of the band and haven't alienated the fan base. Is that something you guys are conscious of when you're going into each record? You're like, we can go this far?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I think Willie and Mark, as they write stuff, they write all kinds of stuff. And sometimes I write stuff at home that's like, I really like this, but this isn't a Lamb of God riff, or this is something else. So by the time the songs are coming together with like some real meat to digest, it's pretty much the Lamb of God sound that you know, which is, I mean, essentially the same dudes have been writing the riffs. We've all been mashing them together for a long time, and we've gotten good at it. It's always been very organic. We never outside of we might be writing a record and Josh would say, hey, we really don't have like a really fast paced, punch you in the face kind of song. We need to come up with one of those, write one, and then that kind of stuff will happen. But generally speaking, it's very organic, and it's just of who we are. What a cliche bullshit answer, but it is true because it's I mean, we're very real about this. This was never supposed to be like our job. We did this because we loved doing it, and we still love doing it. And it's so much fun to get on stage and perform these songs with these dudes. To be the way we recorded this last record, being all in the same room in an amazing at an amazing studio in LA. Like it's still a ton of fun, and I think it really shows, at least in this record. And we've also gotten pretty good at writing, recording, performing, as we've been afforded the luxury of doing this for a number of years.
Call it living the dream, brother.
What was that?
They call it living the dream.
Oh, living the dream. I thought you said something about a drain. I got to tune my ears to the Australian accent. I've been doing European accent.
Do you want to put on a European accent?
So yeah, living the dream. I've to hear my ears tuned to that at this point. But it's not quite as glamorous as everyone imagines. It's the best job I'll ever have. I'm not complaining.
I understand that one for sure. But there's so many bangers on the record too, like outside the singles. I don't really want to spoil it for anyone, but you mentioned about the fast ones before. There's Denial Mechanism. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
That's real hardcore, real takes you back.
Yeah.
We a lot of times as songs are coming together, we're like, oh my God, we're gonna make dentists so much money on this fucking riff right here. People are just gonna go punch each other in the teeth.
Man, it's one of those ones where I just want to like crack a tinny. You know what a tinny is. And just
a can of beer, I imagine.
Man.
Just rage drink for a little bit, huh?
Just go straight into the pit. And, man, such a good one, you know. And I think that one's going to be, I don't know if you're going to play it live, but it's going to be filthy live, as you just mentioned. Like,
Yeah, yeah. We haven't we're playing a few live now. We haven't discussed like once we continue on this tour and the record's out, what are we going to play? It's kind of a difficult thing because a lot of times fans don't really get into the songs live when they're first hearing them. So for us as performers, it feels like we're playing to a dead audience sometimes. But we
wow.
want to play these new songs. I mean,
Yeah.
kids don't really know how to respond or react. If, like, it's the first time they heard these live, and maybe some of them are like the songs they kind of skipped over on the record or something because they wanted to hear the single again. But eventually it gets picked up. But it's the same on our side because before, like we've written these songs, we've recorded these songs, but we haven't performed them live. And what that means, you're on stage playing them, full of adrenaline and rock star bravado. But here you are, you got to play these typical fucking songs and pull it off at the same time and perform because people don't want to just see you sit there and stare at your neck and.
Yeah. Man, I would like, that's one I hope ends up in the set list one day, because that is an absolute banger.
Right on. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really love Grayscale, the last single.
Yeah.
That might be one of my favorites on the record. Although September song is a pretty nice little diversion, nice little
I love
closer on the record.
Dude, that intro is awesome. The bass stuff. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but shit, dude. Like,
spoil it, get them excited. Yeah, it's not like I mean, it's not like we're telling a comedian's jokes up here. You're not even humming the melody of the stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Which is what I do after the show. But man, I think there's so many good tracks on this, and in regards to obviously the lyrics of the title track, fuck it all, ignore the omens. I guess from what I got from that is there, all this focus on doom and gloom and the inevitable apocalypse that people have sort of lost sight of living now, if you know what I mean, enjoying what life is got to offer. Is that what the concept is referring to?
The beautiful thing about these lyrics and art in general is that the observer puts themselves into to make sense of it. Which I guess is part of the human condition, us looking for patterns and trying to relate to this crazy world we live in. Yes. You would have to ask Randy specifically, but I bet you he'd tell you the same thing. But me, and putting a little myself into that, it's more of a, and this is just what I take from it. I'm not saying this is what the song is, but it's kind of sarcastically like, yeah, fuck it all. Just ignore all the shit going on around you. Just keep on doing what you're going to do because, y'all are going to do what you're going to do. And we're fucking doomed anyway.
Yeah, well, there's that too. Hey.
That's how I feel about it, but that's because I kind of feel like we're freaking doomed. That it's too far, too gone, too greedy, and humans ultimately we're going to get what we deserve as a species, and the Earth will continue on, and whatever dominant life form takes over, hopefully is intelligent and studies us, so that our arrogant human asses can feel like we were here for something.
That's way better than my positive outlook.
Oh, no, I prefer to be positive, man. But I can't help being cynical.
I know, dude.
In light of all the omens.
Yes. No, I definitely know that one. That's for sure. But I did like how you also launched that website with the tarot cards. Was that a play on that? That was really cool and really clever. And I don't think bands don't really do that kind of thing anymore. Where they make it that really interactive. I guess.
Well, we're also lucky that we already kind of have an audience. There's already budgets behind people with marketing degrees because we're with a record label that has plans to do all this stuff, as opposed to where we came from, which was 5 idiots in a van pulling up to your house party. But the clever ideas in marketing are what's going to help people to stand out in this glut of information that we sift through every day.
That's true. But I just thought it was cool that you could click on the thing and then you get a preview of a song that hasn't been released yet. Hey.
Yeah.
Without, it's cool. It was really cool. And
it also helps that there's some pretty badass songs to market.
Yeah, absolutely. But in regards to the album cover, it has, your skeletal bird, which has been sort of a recurring theme with the band for years now. What's the meaning behind that for you guys?
Well, it kind of came out of shit. It was the warbird on the on the album cover. It was Ashes, right?
Yeah.
And that bird just kind of like became, people like really focused on that, and became kind of iconic in some ways. The bird swooping with a bullet in its mouth, and we were using that as a separate piece throughout our sets and stuff, and that's just kind of evolved. It's the same artist who's been doing our records since our record cover since Burn the Priest, Ken Adams. So it's it's still in house with used as a Lamb of God reference that we've used many times before, and I think it came out fantastic.
Yeah,
it was my favorite album cover after the Burn the Priest original one.
do you still have all those covers? Do you have them hanging up in the house?
I don't. I should. I do have a cover of our old cassette demo that we used to book house parties. I don't have the actual cassette, but it was 4 songs, same thing on each side.
Wow, man. It's cool to have, I was going through a box and found a whole bunch of old band stuff, but not as cool as your stuff.
Yeah, but here's the problem is I got a bunch of boxes full of a bunch of shit, and it's like, what am I going to do with this? Like, my kids are going to be like, oh, shit. All right, Dad's passed, and what the fuck are we going to do with all these tour books and laminates? Like, what's the point?
Oh, I don't know. It's kind of special. But
it's special, but if I could turn it into something more useful before we go up in a ball of flames, like charity auctions or something. But then again, who the fuck wants that shit?
Man, you'd be surprised.
I would be.
What people
I would be
off right now. Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I know you get asked a lot about obviously Richmond. But one of my favorite bands is obviously GWAR. Dave Brockie was my absolute hero. How was it kicking around with him?
He's a beautiful human being. He's a legend, a character. He was a friend of mine there at Sorting This. He was an institution in Richmond in some ways.
Mm.
We actually early on approached him to ask him if he would manage us. Wow. he appropriately laughed at it.
Such a Dave thing to do.
And that, the GWAR has been very helpful to us over the years. They took us out on our first real tour. They've just been super supportive of us in every way possible. And I actually got to catch up with them for the first time not long ago at a festival, and I'm going to see them again in like another week.
Oh man, that's awesome. They're awesome people. Hey, whole bunch.
They really are.
Yeah, like
bunch of communist hippie artists.
Oh man, miss Dave. He was awesome. But obviously. We're probably running out of time, but Australia and Lamb of God have always had a very, very special relationship there. And, man, do you think there's a possibility in the future that you will come back somehow, somewhere?
Well, I will say that we do have a new record now.
Yes.
That part of the job of putting out a record is a tour, which unfortunately didn't do the last one. I only guess because bass player to keep me in the dark most of the time. But you and I are talking. I can only imagine that this is stirring up or moving towards something amazing. Now, don't take that as any kind of confirmation or anything, but I personally would love to be back down there and hang out with y'all Australians and play some shows.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I've seen you guys play festival. I've seen you guys open for Metallica. I've seen you in, and it's always a good time. You always put in 100%, and the fans love it.
We've had tons of practice, so we're coming in our best form once we can finally get down there.
Man, it'd be amazing. But John, thank you so much again for hanging out on the show, and I appreciate you
pleasure.
Around with all the
yeah. Sorry, we are on tour today, and if I think about it, I'll remember where we are. We're in California. We are in Fresno, I think. Yes, we're in Fresno, California today.
There you go. The internet's got to be better somewhere. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, it's in the bowels of the venue. It just is not really catching.
The basement.
The glamorous rock and roll life we're living.
That's it, eh? You'd think that they would just bring the satellite to you, right?
I mean, I don't expect all that, but I just want people to know that this is not. I'm living the dream, but the dream's not all that. I mean, it is. It is. Who am I kidding?
Yeah. But Elon Musk hasn't. He should be bringing you that satellite on a silver plate.
No. Let's keep that over Ukraine and take care of people there.
Yes,
there's way more important shit going on than a Lamb of God show.
That is true. Hey, everyone loves a Lamb of God. But dude.
Yeah, yeah.
In the meantime, Omens is out this week. We'll have all the links down here. Take care of yourself, bro.
I appreciate it.
And
you do the same, and hopefully we're down there on your all's half of the earth soon.
we'll have the beers ready, brother. Thank you so much.
Word. Later.
Take care, man.